forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Detectives say at some point prior to the Skokie shooting, Clark even posted to Snapchat, "I'll smoke you and your kids." Yeah, expletive, I said your kids.
We begin with new details about the murder of 9-year-old in Skokie. We're learning the little boy and his younger brother were targeted in what police are calling an act of revenge.
CBS 2's Tim McNicholas first broke this story earlier today, and he joins us now live from Skokie. Tim, this is troubling on a number of levels.
Joe and Dana, police now believe that the suspects in this case, the shooters in this case, wanted revenge for another shooting from last summer. Investigators say it was a planned and calculated crime that ended with a 9-year-old dead and a 6-year-old wounded. Prosecutors describe it as a hailstorm of bullets. 35 shots fired into this home in Skokie on May 14th. 9-year-old Jeremiah Ellis suffered 11 gunshot wounds to his body, and his brother was shot in the foot.
I relive it every day since then.
Jeremiah's grandmother described how she heard gunshots in her home, then dropped to the floor to try to save Jeremiah.
My arm tucked under him, and I felt blood going through my fingers. I started yelling, "Call the police, call the police."
Investigators say the shooters are 22-year-old Christian Anderson and 16-year-old Richard Banks. They're also accused of casing the house before the shooting, along with a woman named Tamesha Clark. The family of the children told police that Clark was the girlfriend of a man killed in an expressway shooting in August.
On the Eisenhower, we've got this situation that's causing delays on the Rhine, the Stevenson, everything at that interchange right now because we've got all lanes blocked on the outbound Eisenhower at Damon. We've got two perspectives. We start with our live crew, Obi Varnado, our photojournalist on site there, showing us the state police blocking the outbound dike, all the traffic in the left of your screen being taken off at Damon. The reason for this is an investigation due to an earlier shooting.
Investigators believe the Skokie shooting was in retaliation for that, and Clark helped plan it. Neither police nor Jeremiah's family would go into further details about why the suspects targeted this house, but the family did say they've been threatened.
They knew that we was in that house as a family, and they've been putting threats on our life for the last since August the 23rd. They've been putting threats on our life for an incident that did not involve us at all.
Detectives say at some point prior to the Skokie shooting, Clark even posted to Snapchat, "I'll smoke you and your kids." Yeah, expletive, I said your kids. All three suspects have been arrested and charged with murder. Prosecutors say after the shooting, Anderson texted Clark and asked if the gun had been wiped down. She replied that she would as soon as she got home, adding that she would use bleach. And a relative of those boys told us today that the victim of that expressway shooting is actually related to Jeremiah. And another thing we learned today, one of the suspects accused of killing young Jeremiah was just sentenced in March to 30 days of home confinement and 18 months probation for a separate case. That was an armed robbery. Live in Skokie, Tim McNicholas, CBS 2 News.
Yo, we back. It's Shay's Popalot. Salute the almighty MOBB. We headed to Illinois with it. Y'all meet us in the Skokie section of Chicago. And with this one, for real, I got some shit I'm trying to figure out, and I just need y'all help. Today, I'm going to be bringing you guys the story of a 32-year-old female by the name of Tamesha Clark. Now, the way news outlets would go on to portray Miss Clark, I would have to consider her what I would call a live wire. And just like live wires, it would be an event that would occur that would put that live wire in a position to bring harm to the general public. Now, the storm that would affect this wire would occur late in the summer of 2021 on August 26th at right around 2:20 p.m. when a 25-year-old male by the name of Ralph Banks would be driving on the Eisenhower Expressway along with the unidentified 28-year-old individual. While headed east on the Eisenhower near California Avenue, Ralph Banks, who happened to be the passenger in the car, would be shot in the head and taken to nearby Stroger Hospital, where the very next day he would die due to his wounds, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner. Now, the death of Ralph Banks would trigger a domino effect, with presumably the last domino falling about 9 months from that murder, when the girlfriend of Ralph Banks, Tamesha Clark, would be accused in the revenge or the retaliatory murder of Ralph Banks's 9-year-old nephew, Jeremiah Ellis. Now, on May 14, 2003, the Skokie community would be heartbroken when news would break of a shooting that would kill 9-year-old Jeremiah Ellis, as well as wound his 6-year-old brother, while the two had been laying asleep on a blanket at their grandparents' home. Now, the emotion would go from heartbreak to shock when the news would break of a trio being arrested for the shooting that would take Jeremiah Ellis's life. And when it would come out that the girlfriend of Jeremiah Ellis's deceased uncle, Tamesha Clark, was the mastermind behind the plot, it would leave everybody, including me, completely baffled. Now, I've never been in it, but normally in a situation where your partner, your dog, your love, your other half dies at the hands of a violent shooting, my first thoughts would probably be to ride on the opposition. But in this case, it was completely the opposite. And it was said that Tamesha Clark would go on to terrorize the family of her deceased boyfriend, Ralph Banks, in the 9 months prior to the shooting and after his death. She was even said to send threatening messages on social media saying where she didn't care if she got the kids. Now, I would really hate and can't really see a situation where 9-year-old Jeremiah Ellis was the target of this rage or this shooting. But with Tamesha Clark typing it into the universe and hitting send, my opinion really don't matter. It's what the judicial system is going to think. But the main thing I really want to ask y'all is, why would she target the nephew of her deceased boyfriend? Now, that to me is the $1 trillion question. Now, my theory is going to be something along the lines of this. Now, I'm not sure how many of y'all have ever been in a relationship with someone and you brought them around your family, and after meeting and getting to know them, and family members begin to ask you things like, man, what's up with you and that crazy ass bitch? Or something like, boy, you better cut that girl off. Or even the classic, well, I don't even know what he's seeing that girl. Well, no matter what words were used, I'm definitely thinking that was the case of Tamesha Clark. And me personally, I assume that even after death, the shit was still up with her. But really, that's just my theory. And I'm dying. I'm dying to hear what y'all got to say about this. Now, y'all make sure y'all hit the red subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real Trill Spill shit is dropping. Y'all get in the comment box. Y'all run it up. Definitely give me y'all perspectives on how y'all think this situation ended. How it ended. Y'all let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what gangsters we missed, what we got wrong, where we need to head to, y'all tapping with me directly on IG, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And y'all stay plugged in. We gonna be back on Mob Business ASAP. It's your lad Popalot. Whole lot of mob shit going on.